Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with a completed base on All the Mods 9. Today is episode 40, and we are kind of in a situation. So, first things first, let me mention that I've had to downgrade the All the Mods 9 version. So, we lost a little bit of progress in the way of not having certain things. One of the things I've noticed is we had a whole bunch of the Irons spellbook integration with Apotheosis. All the gems that we got for Irons are gone. Outright, they basically got the NBT erased off of them and they become error items. I actually salvaged every single one of those. Apparently, you can do that. So they're not completely a waste, but we did get some of the gem dust from those, and I spent a little bit of that just kind of looking around at Apotheosis. One of the issues I see with Apotheosis is I honestly get super bored of showing Apotheosis. So we're going to quickly, just briefly go over that. But we did get the house complete around us, so we shouldn't have too many flying phantoms coming at our heads or anything like that. We also got the Draconic Bee set up in the mining dimension, which is fantastic. So they have been making Draconic Dust. We'll quickly show that here. So we've got 3,000 Draconic Dust. We also have about 80 plus gene samples from the last episode. I did use quite a bit of those between this episode and last, and that is fantastic. But overall, let's get into Apotheosis. We're going to do a quick recap on how Apotheosis works. We're not going to get into enchanting. We're not going to get too far into this. I mostly did this to get a lot of the stuff out of our system that was Apotheosis gear. But let's talk about this. So the two more important things here are the reforging table and the salvaging table. There is this gem cutting table, but the gem cutting table really's only use is upgrading gems. So if you are to the point where you want to upgrade your armor just a little bit better and you have a handful of some of these gems, you can take two of the same rarity. So for example, you can see this is a blue rarity or a rare rarity, and you can combine two of those plus your rarity materials. So you can see there's different ranges of each material, and then that will give you a better rarity gem. So in this case, it would be an epic gem of the Incandescent Inferno. And you can go through, there's 46 pages in total of this. Probably in the newer versions, of course, with the Irons compatibility, you probably have a lot more pages, but of course, we have that issue where we're not seeing those, and that's okay. So that's what the gem cutting table is. We won't really be using it, so we're just going to kind of ignore it as it stands here. So the salvaging table is how you actually get more gem dust. Let's see. Actually, here's some of the Irons compatibility ones here that we can just pull out. So these are just called item.apotheosis.gem. I had a whole bunch of these sitting in this chest over yonder. And there's another one actually in here, but they were all just littered in the bottom, and that's kind of sad. But you can take these or any other gem, and depending on the rarity of the gem or the quality of the gem, I guess you could say, you'll get more gem dust out of them. As of right now, I don't know if this really is affected 100% with these gems. It looks like there may be some NBT that's saying, hey, this was a rare, this was a mythic, or whatever kind of rarity. So we are able to get a little bit more bang for our buck out of these, but we'll just get those to gem dust. The other way that you can get this is actually with an anvil, and this is like how you would get your first handful. So you want to find kind of your crappier gems. So for example, plus 10% draw speed, 5 mining speed. I'm never going to use these to get anything better. So we're just going to drop this on the ground, make sure our magnet is turned off, and drop an anvil on it. This will get us our first gem dust. We got some from request rewards as well, so we didn't really have to do that too much. But if you don't have any, drop an anvil on some gems, and you'll get some gem dust. Okay? The other use for this salvaging table is if we find something that actually is apotheosis. Let's see, do I actually have anything that's apotheosis? That might be the problem, because I think I've salvaged all of it. Boots. Leggings. Ooh, we have one pair of leggings. So if you have stuff like this that has a rarity, Similar to my actual normal armor here, you'll see that there is purple, which is epic. There's orange, which is mythic. Green, which is rare. These are, of course, mythic. There's also common and uncommon. Uncommon's green and common is gray. So just keep that in mind. But you can take your stuff you don't want. So if you get a whole bunch of just Apotheosis gear, you just take it, you throw it into a salvaging table, and this will result in a rarity material. Of course, you have all the different rarities of rarity material. So common, uncommon, rare, epic, and mythic. And you can use these to then get better gear. So I have a Godforged Pearl in here, but we can actually take some Arcane Sands and throw in my sword. And you can see with certain materials, so we'd need 12 gem dust, 6 Arcane Sands, and however many enchanting levels you see down here in the bottom right of each one of these. So you can get a little bit of goodies from this. So for example, this would give you slain enemies have 4% chance to be a loot pinata, a little bit more attack damage, 17% crit damage, 3+ fire damage. You can also see that there's sockets on those, which are where these come into play, that you can socket onto your tools. Of course, it really depends on what you kind of gems you want. There's luck, there's step height, and it really also depends on the armor that you're trying to use. For example, here's 2.75 luck on your core armor, which would be fantastic if you're going exploring and looting. If you had a luck set of armor, you have a possibility of getting better or rarer loot after, in getting your armor to that point. So that is something. Of course, this is just the sword. There's not too much to see here, but that's okay. It happens. If you don't find something you want, you could use a lower rarity material to kind of just cycle through and kind of see what you can get. And we can throw a Godforged Pearl in here, because not all of these are good, of course. If you have a sword that is just fantastic, so for example, like this, we have 37 attack damage, right? That's overkill for most mobs. So like the 4.5 fire damage, or 3, I think, for the Arcane Sands, we would actually still be fine with the slain enemies have a 4% chance to loot pinata, which loot pinata, basically when you kill a mob, there's a 4% chance that mob will explode in a pinata, or kind of how a pinata explodes with the actual mob's loot. So it's actually pretty cool. It's very useful in my opinion, but the fire is definitely something that would deter me from getting this one. But yeah, that'll do it for Apotheosis. A very just simple explanation, kind of getting into it. But I needed to clear out a couple chests. I had 2 chests full of Apotheosis gear that I went ahead and just did off camera, because I might as well go for it. Also, Apotheosis adds the ability to do the fletching table, make arrows and stuff in that. That is Apotheosis' functionality, because Minecraft, the Minecraft developers just still haven't felt the need to do that yet. So, let's look at a few other things here. So, I also gotta mention, I have unobtainium armor. I went ahead and went to a dungeon in the other, which is where you get these unobtainium upgrades. I would have recorded it, but I crashed several times, mostly because I think there was about 400, 500 entities at a time whenever I entered. I cleared out a lot of it after several crashes. I could show you the dungeon here real quick and kind of show you the area that you're looking for to find one. Let's go over here and we'll go to other dungeon. But this is the location. I just used a structure compass to find the dungeon. But you are in for a fun time of just absurdity. If I press F3 and look at the bottom left, we have a current total of 300 and something entities. You'll find evokers, you'll find vindicators, you'll find withers, and a few other just lovely mobs in this area. Let's see. See if I can get back here. So this is the actual location you're looking for, is a library. This is where the smithing template, we have 400 entities in this area, goodness gracious. This is the area that you're looking for to actually find the actual smithing template. So nothing too crazy, nothing too insane. Just very loud noises in my ears. But yeah, just be careful. These do appear to crash quite a lot. And I think this actually stacks. Like, has a stack of dungeons on top of each other. But I may be wrong, and there may be just levels. Looks like we got some blocks of amethyst here. Let's see. Can I quickly make hostile creatures go quiet? And no blocks. So yeah, this is the dungeon. I'm just kind of scared I'm going to crash again, because here's the evokers that spawn tons and tons of vexes. And you'll see that the entities will actually just skyrocket here. We're at 500 almost. So you just need to take out these evoker spawners to actually do that. And of course, everything is going to spawn on top of you. And it's going to be a fun time. That is super enjoyable for the entire family. Okay. But with that, we are teleporting out of there. But it is a good way to get some gems and stuff. I know that was just a brief period of me being in there. But honestly, I'm scared that I'm going to crash again. So that is the difficulty, is getting in there and then just getting swarmed by evokers and the vindicators and the wither skeletons. So it's not terrible, really. I think I almost died once or twice just because I was tired of swinging my sword, because there's so many. And I wasn't in there that long, right? So they were kind of probably more spread out since I cleared out some of the levels. But man, it is not a fun time. Not at all. Alright, so I want to look at Iron's spellbook. I'm not 100% sure how good of an idea this is, because we don't have the Apotheosis stuff in here, but we're going to look at it, and we're going to kind of experiment. I'm not 100% sure how far we'll get in this episode, because this is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, just because I don't know the stability of irons, or if we want to wait until we actually get the compatibility back, or what. So let's see. I think I have. Do I have any? So I have a Gamor of Evocation, which I think I got from that dungeon, just killing things, I'm pretty sure. We also have the Blazing Instruction Manual, or Blaze Instruction Manual. So this unique spellbook. Okay. So how do I use this? How do I go about using iron spells? Because I don't even know. So category, iron, quick cast. I don't even know. Is this a good idea? Okay, so I can have 10 of these. So what are the normal casting options? Let's see. So we'll just get rid of that. So V. Okay, I should have looked at the second option. Hold on. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at learning new things. So R and left shift spell bar scroll modifier. Okay, so holding shift allows for me to do that. Holding R. Okay, so I'd have to get rid of shaders reloading. How do I get rid of that? So if I do key R, shaders, reload shaders, and we just push that off to like minus. Is that fine? Okay, so I can look at actually the cost of mana. I can look at the level, the kind of limitations, right? So let's see. So if I were to look at, how do I? Oh, do I just need to go to the direction? I don't need to click or anything. So for example, this, I would just do quick cast. And there we go. So we've got the Vexes. Okay. And then, of course, it gives us a little spell effect. Okay. And then, of course, if I want to scroll. Okay. So then if I have another book, I can just swap it. So this just gives us locked in spells. So you basically don't get 10 out of this, right? You would only get, what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Okay. And where does that equip to? Okay. We have a magic book, which I don't know what does. So what are the spell books that are actually worth a hoot? That's a good question. So we've got 10, 10, 12. So Dragon Skin. It looks like you've got Necronomicon, which I would assume comes from something. So the Dead King has the potential to drop that. We've got the Ancient Codex, which looks like it could be useful. Okay. Um, you got the Enhanced or Enchanted Spellbook. My apologies. And it looks like you've got some like benefits to getting certain ones. So this Ancient Codex would not be bad because you have a 20% cooldown reduction. While it's like this, if you had Ender would be better, like Ender spells. So I think like the spells that that's talking about are like these. Yeah, because they're listed Ender. So if you had a whole bunch of these, there's like summon Ender Chest, evasion scrolls. So I don't really see too many good things with that. A black hole scroll, 2 AO. Let's see. So I know that if you take these scrolls and you were to put this in a book, can I take that back out? I can. Okay. So if I took this book and we were to just cast this, I don't know if this is a good idea to do that right there. So if we just went down here and we cast this, V. Oh, I don't have enough mana. Okay, so that's something else. We need to kind of figure out how we get mana. I need to turn my magnet back on. There we go. So how much mana does that actually cost? So that costs 600 mana. Yeah, I'm not nowhere close to that. Okay. Let's see. So I'd assume we could look at getting the Battle Mage set, which is Arcane Cloth, which that doesn't look too bad. Is there any enchants or anything that we can look at too, though? Kind of any just odds and ends. So I know that this set, I think, can be upgraded, right? Or is there's all the mods version of this set? Yeah, so if you get kind of any one of those, which I don't think it matters. So you need a ruin. Okay. So let's look. So we've got different types of helmets. So there's pyromancy. So it looks like basically the rune type. So if we just went and got pyromancy or pyromancer, my apologies, pyromancer, and we got 5, 8, 7, and 4. Just want to make sure that we need the like kind of normal amount there. And then we went and grabbed 4 of these, which I don't even know where these come from, by the way. So the Dead King drops some. You could get some from an Arcane Essence B. I think I may have picked them up at a chest then. So then we can make the Pyromancy set. Okay. And then with this, we can get an upgrade using all the modium. So smithing templates. So we would want to get a couple more of these bad boys. Okay. And then a couple of these. I think we could just go ahead and upgrade, right? I don't think there's a problem with that. And then go from here to this. We'll see. I might be just wrong that we could even do this. I don't have any idea what I'm doing, by the way. I'm just winging it. If I know there's probably a book on this, in all honesty, but I'm kind of just investigating. This is how I go about looking at mods, and if there's questions that I can't answer, I kind of just look them up after the fact. So, you know, it's okay. Unobtainium. Okay. So we're looking for a smithing table. So this would be that. So all the modium. Okay. And then this template. Okay. And I would assume this stuff is almost equivalent to this armor set, but we'll see. So that gives us 1,900, and that does look pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. My only issue is I really don't like helmets that much that cover a whole bunch of the head, so we could do that. I think that looks still pretty chill. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then I think what we actually could do, so this can be imbued, which I would assume is like this whole thing. So you could probably add kind of a different spell power, right? Let's see, what are they? We got blood, cooldown. So cooldown, in my opinion, sounds like the best option. There's also spell resistance. So what can we do with this? So there's spell power. That one would give us 520 max mana and 9 armor toughness, which I don't know. Does this have too much armor toughness? I mean, that's 3 armor toughness and some resistance. If I had more Godforged Pearls, I would definitely go for that. Sands. Let's see. Do we have any of these? Do we have the ability to look at this? So this would give us 510. Physical damage taken is reduced by 7%. Let's see. Healing received, mana regeneration. I think we could go with that one. That gives us also some sockets. Let's go with that for now. Let's see. Let's take off the rest of this armor. So that gives us magic power. And some luck. When attacked, inflict blindness. Magic damage taken is by 5%. I think I want to go with this top one. Well, actually, this one has a cooldown reduction. So let's go with that middle. And then, I mean, this is exactly why I only wanted to get into Apotheosis so much, is because these are like the best things you could look at, really, until you start getting into enchantments. Let's see, 25% healing received. I think the healing received is probably like a healing spell multiplier or like addition, not what I'm thinking of, like you regenerate faster. So that's something to take into account. So there's spell power, 17% knockback resistance. Okay, so let's go with that one. 5 plus max health, 15% mana regen, so that would be good. Plus 1 step height. I don't like step height. Armor toughness, max health, mana regen, 45% max mana magic power. Okay. But I don't like the speed attribute, though. It's the only issue I see. And it looks like that's like a common thing. So we may just not do our boots. So that gives us a little bit more power overall. So I'm kind of curious. I'm pretty sure there's like magic stuff we could look at with enchants, isn't there? I mean, I know we can just straight up get vitality. I don't think I ever really looked to see if there was anything that could help us with magic regen or anything like that. Okay. So let's look one more time at irons. So I know this episode's probably a little boring, but I'm just curious and kind of just looking. We also have the arcane debris, which might be good. So that's an empty upgrade orb. And then surrounding some blank runes with that. So there's 50 plus magic mana. Okay. So let's see. So if we equip this back with that black hole spell, we should be able to cast that now. Which I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're going to try it. Okay. So that was V. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can see the mobs got sucked in. So does it just like stay here for a second? I wonder how long that actually lasts. I mean, it looks like it's going to last quite a while. Did that do damage to this guy? It did. Okay. So that's actually pretty nifty. I don't know if I understand why you would want to use a spell like that, because it just seems a little bit too long. But let's see. What other kind of spells do I have in here? Because I have a handful. I don't have a whole lot. So there's like Blaze Storm spell, Blessing of Life Scroll. So this is what I was thinking, is you could do that healing kind of spell. So if we learned that, so if we ever get damaged, we can be like, hey, I need health. And just... Oh no, that's actually like a target spell? So that's like Healing Hands. Okay. It's kind of useless in a single player world. Unless I need to heal a villager, I guess, maybe. But that's okay. Spectral Hammer Scroll. Interesting. So I definitely need to look at getting more spells, right? I think that's where we need to go. I'm going to look at this stuff off camera. Look at irons a little bit closer off camera. And I think what we'll do is we'll come back next episode and... Ooh, look at that. See, I love how that is like sitting on my side. That is so cool. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was kind of a little bit more of a filler/boring episode, but I think this is going to start looking into irons in the next episode and potentially get further into that, see what we need to see, and hopefully it'll lead to some pretty cool things. But I know we need to get into irons for all the mods 9-star, and hopefully it'll be interesting along the way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!